scripture scholars and theologians wanted to take on Lincoln's premise and try to make a case that, in fact, the Judeo-Christian tradition is, in fact, environmentally friendly. So that passage that I read to you, it said, have dominion over the earth. And I remember reading a book by a scripture scholar, and he said, now, the Hebrew for that term, have dominion over, it's really the same word that comes up in a couple chapters later in the next big story, which is of Adam and Eve's two children, first two children, Cain and Abel. And you know the story of Cain, out of rage and jealousy, kills his brother Abel. So God seeks out Cain and says, where is your brother? And Cain said, well, how should I know? Am I my brother's keeper? Am I my brother's keeper? And of course the message that you are. We humans are responsible for one another. That's just the way it is. And this scripture scholar said that Hebrew word for keeper, you know, you're responsible for, you're to take care of. That's the same word used for, you know, have dominion over the creatures of the earth. So it's really God saying, take care. You're responsible for all the creatures, the other creatures of the earth. You want to jump in there?
No, I think that's the Noah's Ark story.
What's that?
The Noah's Ark story.
Yes, indeed. I was thinking of just staying with earlier in Genesis. The first human being is Adama, Adam, and it means from the earth. You know, you know, human beings are not. You know, we can have this notion of, well, there's nature, and then there are human beings. And human beings are above nature. They're separate from nature. They're supernatural. We are supernatural. Sea turtles, all these other creatures, they're just natural. Okay? But really, you can look at it as human beings are really nature conscious of itself. That's what human beings are. Nature conscious of itself. Okay? Not separate. You know, we run into trouble if we separate ourselves out from the rest of nature, and even to say, well, you know, human beings and nature. Well, no, human beings and the rest of nature. You know? We're connected to all of nature. Okay, I know from the Catholic tradition, there in the last few decades, there have been quite a few statements leaders about caring for the environment. It really has been something that has been actually a major concern. I think of things that have been written, and I was looking at different sources and trying to see, you know, what would be some sources that would reflect this. And I just chose one, and I'm just going to make mention of that. Hope to hear from some of you. But in 2008, the Vatican, you know, Catholic Church is unique. There's actually some place that speaks Catholicism. So the Vatican issued a new set of 7 deadly sins. Heard about it. So there's these new deadly sins. So there have been deadly sins on the books for like 1,500 years, right? And they were. Gina would remember these. Try these. You know, gluttony, lust, greed, wrath, envy, pride, sloth. All right, so I know So I just remember in reading about medieval morality plays, and they would have depictions of these deadly sins, and then the virtue of the virtues weren't much like. But I just, and I was trying to think, well, now who would portray gluttony? Well, maybe Lady Gaga would. Lust. All right. So in 2008, the Vatican comes up with a new list, and a representative from the Vatican said, interesting comment, the sins of today have a social resonance as well as an individual one. A social resonance as well as an individual one. And he said the traditional deadly sins are too individualistic, too focused on the individual. You need to look on a broader scale for what is sinful in our world. So, guess what number 3 is on the list? Polluting the environment. Polluting the environment. So, there was one of the news journals, I think it might have been Newsweek, reported on this new list, and the headline was "Recycle or Go to Hell." So it's, again, my Catholic background, I can just, what does this mean? Do you go to confession and say, "Bless me, Father, for I have sinned, I didn't recycle that tin can, the aluminum can," or that guy who, the head of BP that we kept hearing from the news reports, it's like, kept saying, "I'm sorry, I'm responsible," the whole thing. So, I mean, should he have gone to confession and say, "Oh, it's a horrible sin, I must confess. I took this chance and built this well out in the middle of 1,000-mile deep water and endangered all these species. Please forgive me." I guess that's what you're supposed to do. Deadly sin. So, anyway, so I, at least recently, there has been in a lot of all religious circles attempts to make a case for all of us to be responsible for the environment, and I was thinking that it would be interesting to hear some of your perspectives. Say, you are students. Do you see, the Western canon of art? Do you feel as though it has been offering a framework for caring for